We can get right to the questions. Everything's been covered very thoroughly, and I'm sure that people have questions probably even beyond what's in the chat box. Thank you, Michael.
Trishelle, do you want to make any comments before we take questions?
No, I'm ready for questions as well. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so the first question we have this evening, so it goes as follows. So the lead proper lead test that it just got shows the heavy metals hiding aren't worth anything. Lead is high on it. Why are they only accepting those dates when we're messing with our test results the most? So I think the question is really about the dates from 2014 through 2016 itself.
Sure, I'll take a swing at that one. Anybody else can chime in. So with any type of settlement, there's always, there has to be some bookends. Everybody's not going to agree on all the dates. Everybody's not going to agree on all the types of injuries and damages. So like with any settlement, you try to get a mutual agreement on what are the most applicable dates. And so based upon all the parties, the discovery, the millions of pages of documents, the hours and hours and hours of testimony of experts and expert reports, these were the dates that everybody felt were the most reasonable dates to use as the bookends. So could you have arguments that other dates are appropriate? Should have been extended more one way or the other? Yes, but in terms of the whole, these were the dates that were chosen.
A quick follow-up to that, Ted. Does the judge have discretion to extend the dates?
The judge, of course, has the discretion to do a lot of things, but I think in some of these science-related issues, she's going to rely mostly on the parties and the experts to formulate what again, these bookends are for the applicable dates.
Thank you. Next question is, will there be any reimbursements for the money homeowners have spent on their water bills?
The answer is, as part of the property settlement, there'll be compensation that will be provided for the water bills. We're in the process now of also addressing some of those issues, and we hope to learn more about that in the near future. But as part of the property, and I know there's been a big issue about that since all of this happened, of course, about paying for contaminated water, if you will. But we hope that as part of the settlement, the resolution of being reimbursed for that goes to some semblance of people being paid for what they've spent or paid out.
Thank you. Next question is, how long will it take to get the settlement money after the ruling from the judge?
So don't forget, now we're going to talk about now the final approval, not the preliminary approval, but assume that the final approval happens. We would anticipate that the money thereafter would be coming relatively quickly to everyone, because the final approval is going to be many months down the road. All the paperwork from everybody should hopefully be in by then. And the funds from the state, we know, will be already funded at that time. And we hope from the other defendants as well. That should not be a problem. So we don't think that it should take too long for the administrative aspect, which is another big and important part of all this we didn't really talk too much about, but an administrator is going to be administrating all this, and their job is to get all the claims handled, get them handled quickly, get answers to questions that they need, so that once there is a final approval based upon everybody's injuries and the damage grid and evaluations will be known and funding will take place.
And let me caution everybody about the timing of the payments. As in any legal matter, there are many variables that could pop in, including appeals. And so it's possible that Judge Levy will make her final determination. And then objectors will take appeals to the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, protesting her decision. That could delay the payment process. So you need to pay close attention to the legal process as it unfolds. Our website will keep you posted as to timing issues. Nobody should spend their money before they have it. Please don't do that because you could be very disappointed. Be very, very cautious and very careful about timing issues when it comes to the receipt of your check.
Thank you. Since I've already signed a retainer for this lawsuit, why do I have to fill out additional paperwork?
The additional paperwork is what is required or going to be required by the court and the administrator of the claims. Don't forget that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are going to be making claims. And so the initial retainer agreement was allowing us, or who, I'm assuming us, since if you have another attorney, you probably already have left us and hopefully talking to them. But assuming that we were your attorneys that you signed your retainers with, that allowed us to litigate and prosecute the case for you and to ultimately resolve this portion of the case, and allowing us to continue to litigate against the two remaining defendants. The registration and claims is now to address the issue of the settlement and getting all the information that is needed and required for the settlement to get your settlement funds.
Please don't be afraid of the paperwork. Yes, you'll get the paperwork. It'll look to you as being very challenging. We're here to help you. So if you are, just don't feel that you're comfortable filling out the paperwork yourself, call the office. We'll get on the phone with you. We'll do a Zoom call like this. I know COVID is a problem for face-to-face meetings. We're all concerned about safety, but we can work with you throughout the COVID era. Hopefully it'll be over, by the spring of next year. We all hopeful that we'll be back to a more of a normal experience. If that does occur, our office will be open, we'll be meeting. Please don't be afraid of the paperwork. We have a team of lawyers and people who are navigators, can take you easily through the paperwork. Don't look at it and say, this is too complicated and throw it in the trash. That's not a wise thing to do. What you should do is call us and we will walk you through it.
Right. And just to emphasize, I said this before, but just notice on this Zoom call here, of attorneys, there is 5 of us, and there are a lot more that are part of our team. And I don't mean like 5 or 6, I mean like 10, 20, 30 more attorneys that can help answer your questions and help you fill out the documents. And as we talked about before, we'll do a whole Zoom tutorial where we'll have a Zoom and we'll give examples of filling out the form. And so we're here to help you. And, we're part of we work for you. So we're part of your team. And we want to make sure that this is going to be an easy process. It may be frustrating, we know, but don't let the frustration get in the way of the forms.
Thank you. Next question is, will a school IEP work for proof of mental disability for children? And that's the individual education plan.
Yeah, could you ask that again, Dave? I'm not sure I got that whole question.
Sure. Will a school individual education plan work for proof of mental disability for children?
It may, depending if there is some neuropsychological type of testing that is part of the process that got that child into that program. So that would be the type of background medical information that we would want to see that may be useful to help with the damage claim.
Definitely something you should get a copy of if you don't have. If you know your child has an IEP, multiple IEPs, obtain copies of those for us.
And you can obtain those from the school district, correct, Leslie?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Let's take one or two more, David.
Sure. Next question is, what about tenants who pay water bills themselves? We need more information on this part of the settlement so that they can receive some type of recovery.
Well, they should make a claim, both register and a claim for determination of reimbursement. So that will be something, again, that we can help with.
Okay. And last question, why are the children not part of the settlement class, even though they will participate in the settlement program?
That's a very good question, sort of a long answer, but let me see if I can synthesize it down. So with any litigation, there in a settlement, there is agreements to do certain things. And as part of this case, the minors were part of a class in terms of bringing the class. And of course, until the court makes a ruling on that, on those issues, there is not a class. So we had hoped that there would be a class for minors. But when we got to the point where we got serious with the state and the other defendants about settlement, it was agreed that the class would be made up of a settlement class of adults, property and businesses, and the minors would not. And there are many legal reasons why that came out that way. Moving forward in the continued litigation against the remaining two defendants, we are seeking, and in fact, we have filed papers already to make the minors part of a class. So a lot of it is for legal and technical reasons and for reasons of a settlement. That for this particular portion of the case, the minors are not part of the class.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So that is going to conclude our town hall. For our guest this evening, the toll-free number you may call is 866-536-0717. Again, that is 866-536-0717. Or you may send an email to info@flintwaterjustice.com. Again, that is info@flintwaterjustice.com. We do have another town hall coming up in January, but there is the court hearing in December that we will be posting on the flintwaterjustice.com website with the link so you can watch the judge in action on that day. And we thank everybody for coming this evening. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Michael, Leslie, Teresa, Trishelle, and Cynthia for participating tonight. And to my colleague, Beth Bowen, who's been capturing all of the questions. And we will have written answers posted up on the website shortly after the town hall. So we'll be sharing all that information.
Thank you. And anybody who has questions that we didn't get to tonight, feel free to just email them. And we'll hopefully answer as best we can.
Yes, sir,
I would just,
absolutely.
the one question that probably should be answered was, do these town halls, are they replacing the monthly conference calls? Yes. The first Friday calls that were had will be replaced by town halls. So please watch the website because we'll have information on them.
Yes, and we have recorded this town hall this evening, and we will post that up to the website momentarily. Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening. Have a great holiday season. And if you have any questions, please call us at 866-536-0717. Everyone have a great evening.